Okay, before we start with the prayers, I'd like to make a very quick announcement, and in the end also I'll make the same announcement should there be the participants joining us a little later. You have to note, this evening the Venerable Geshe Ishitapki Rinpoche, incredibly great saint scholar from Varanasi, and I had the honor of receiving teachings from him, and now he must be in the late 80s, like 87, and in fact he was, today, if you are to locate somebody who is an incredibly great philosopher, logician, practitioner, you will see him. So we already made request for teachings from him on several occasions, and he kindly gave teachings here. And so tonight, this evening, again, we made a request for him to stay here in Tibet House, upstairs. And although I'm yet to make the request to him for the teachings, but I'm so keen. One, for his age, I could not be too ambitious to request for teachings, but then he'll be here for a little extended period of time. Last year, he was here just for one night, and this time he'll be here for like 4 nights, I think. 4 nights. So I'm going to make a request to give some teachings here, and all of us here, just see if you can attend it. It's incredibly great opportunity. He has so many great the students who are so great themselves. For example, the monks in the Varanasi, and the students themselves were already in the age 70s. Yeah, and the very accomplished. The masters were his own students. So that way, it would be a great honor for us, all of us, a great opportunity for us to receive teachings from him. And the teaching that what I have in my mind, which I discussed with this morning's Nandan Masters to the course participants, more about the philosophy of the emptiness and dependent origination, how to see the reality more closely, and how we can discover that our perceptions are deceptive, and these perceptions, the deceptive perceptions, how they're responsible for creating all the fear in our mind, and how when this deceptive perception dissolves, then the fear automatically dissolves, and no matter what external factors we meet with, the fears still have no place in us. So finding the total pacification of mental disturbance and achieving total peace. So this is what I'm going to request Venerable Geshe Ishitapki Rinpoche on behalf of all everyone, and particularly those from the Nalanda Masters course participants and those of the Nalanda Diploma, the course, the participants. Okay, so this is one thing, and happening on 23rd, tentatively, meaning most likely it'll happen on 23rd, today's 20th, then 21st, 22nd. We will have him rested, and then 23rd we'll request if teachings can be happening. 24th, he's leaving for America, and in case if 23rd if Venerable Geshe Ishitapki Rinpoche, if he's busy, then we can do it on 22nd. So keep the 2 dates. Most likely 23rd, otherwise 22nd. Okay. So with this in mind, okay, let us turn to page 3 of the the blaze of non-dual bodhicittas. Okay, raise your hands, those who do not have this, the book, the blaze of non-dual bodhicittas. Yeah. Okay. Setting a proper motivation, which consists of three parts: refuge field, bodhicitta field, the purpose of the practice. The first refuge field, visualize the Buddha Shakyamuni, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and all enlightened beings who you seek. Okay, they visualize Buddha Shakyamuni, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and all the enlightened beings from whom you seek the inspiration of unconditional love towards all beings, and to activate the seed of wisdom to know how everything is connected to each other. And how do you visualize them? They are like your very affectionate parents, and imagine you come home demoralized and your parents are waiting there to give full love, affection, attention, embrace. And bodhicitta field, visualize the two parents on the two sides, and all the family members, and all human sentient beings around you. And here you are the mother, and all others are like your children. And imagine they come home demoralized, and you are there to give full love, affection, embrace, and so forth. And point number 3, the purpose of this practice is to finally activate the seed of compassion, the seed of bodhicitta, and the ultimate treasure of happiness, like the diamond which exists within each one of us, no matter what belief system that you are with. We all have this treasure within us. So, but that is obscured. And obscure means there are some factors which defile this treasure within us. So these have to be cleansed. To remove them, we need to know the nature of these defilements, and these defilements are of two kinds, the gross and the subtle. The gross one also referred to as the afflictive obscurations, and the subtle one referred to as the cognitive obscurations. And the gross ones are responsible for stopping us from experiencing the total freedom, or total, the freedom from the fears of samsara. And the subtle one of cognitive obscuration is responsible for stopping us from achieving total enlightenment. So, for that matter, this gross one, afflictive obscurations, is of 3 kinds: contaminant karmas, afflictions, and active seeds. So these 3 things boil down to what is known as self-grasping ignorance. At the moment, we may not be aware, may not be aware of as what constitutes this self-grasping ignorance. Eventually, this whole purpose, we learn what self-grasping ignorance is, and we learn how to get rid of this, and then you will see the wonder of seeing the pains, the fears of life coming to an end with your mind. So, how to get rid of this self-grasping ignorance is the wisdom of emptiness. To know the reality as empty, as like all dream-like, as like all mirage-like. And the fears, seeing them as so real, will all dissolve upon this realization. So the motivation, the driving force must be to benefit all sentient beings, including your parents and all the family members. So that is so important. The highest form of this aspiration is known as bodhicitta. And you are leading this group, and imagine that all sentient beings, including your parents, family members, they're all joining you in this journey of cleansing the mind to discover your ultimate happiness. Okay, with that in mind, let's turn to page 3 of the book. And teach by great compassion, you taught the immaculate dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. And teach by great compassion, you taught the immaculate dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama. And teach by great compassion, you taught the immaculate dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. In dependent origination, there is no ceasing, no arising, no annihilation, no permanence, no coming, no going, no separateness, no sameness. I prostrate to the one who taught this peace, which is afraid of elaborations. I prostrate to the mothers of the hearers, the bodhisattvas and the Buddhas, who through the knowledge of all these hearers seeking pacification and complete peace, who through the knowledge of past causes was helping my greatest to achieve the aims of the world, and who through the possession of nations helped subduers expound a variety of teachings. The one who has transformed into the reliable guide, motivated by altruism to benefit sentient beings. The teacher, the one who has eliminated the web of conceptualizations and is endowed with the divine bodies of the vast and the profound, who eternally shines forth the forever noble light rays. To you, the Buddha, I make prostrations. I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind of full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. As we recite this mantra, now that you already know the meaning of this mantra, just reflect on the theme, the essence of this mantra. That all the miseries that I'm going through, whether directly or indirectly, somehow they're connected with my, say, the two demons inside me, self-grasping ignorance and self-centered attitude. The two demons, self-grasping ignorance pertaining to the faulty and deceptive cognitive, say, the function of your mind, and the self-centered attitude pertaining to the deceptive and the narrowness and the close-mindedness of this self-centered attitude. Self-grasping ignorance and a self-centered attitude. So these two, as long as we have these two things within our mind, no matter where you are, whether you're in Himalaya, whether you're in the king's palace, whether you're in the street, whether you're in the garden, whether you are in paradise, wherever you are, and you will never find happiness. Always we see that we are being tormented by the miseries, the pains, anxiety, stress, and so forth. So these things, all these miseries, undesirable experiences, they all are rooted to, in short, rooted to the self-grasping ignorance and self-centered attitude. Self-grasping ignorance is which obscures us from seeing reality. And self-centered attitude is the narrowness of our thinking. Always think about the self. So these two things they arise within us in the facade of guarding us. In actuality, by no means they help us, by no means they're of any use. They only destroy the peace of mind. They only obscure this incredible treasure of enlightenment that exists within each one of us. So these two things should be eradicated. So all phenomena arise from causes, meaning all phenomena of miseries, they arise from these two causes, self-grasping ignorance and self-centered attitude. And what these causes are, they are indicated by the Tathagata, the enlightened one, and how to bring an end to these two causes, as well as taught by the great seer, where the Tathagata taught that it is a wisdom to dispel the darkness of self-grasping ignorance, and it is the other mind which dispels the darkness of the self-centered attitude. Okay, with this in mind, let us, while we recite this, let us pray. Let us aspire that the two demons within me, I must get rid of these two by the power of wisdom. Replace the self-grasping ignorance with the wisdom. Replace the self-centered attitude by the other mind. So that way you see that you become like a sun who cannot be affected by any external factors. No matter what external factors you encounter with. For example, say you end up in the earthquake, or you end up in the hands of the terrorists. For the ordinary people, we see that this is the worst scenario. But for somebody, when these two demons are exterminated, even you have the capacity to change the terrorist's mind the moment you confront with the terrorist. And when these two demons are exterminated, even the earthquakes, they stop themselves because of the power of the internal energy that you have gained. So that way you are least affected by the external factors. So the point is that these two demons inside, as long as these two are there, external factors can easily harm us. For example, say when you are affected by tuberculosis, your immune system goes down. When the immune system goes down, what's the problem? The problem is that you can contract the illnesses so easily because you're so weak. Other people, for example, say in the environment here, we see that tuberculosis is almost, the doctors and the nurses, they know this, almost prevalent there. But those who have strong immune system, they cannot be affected by the tuberculosis virus. Although you are breathing this air containing the tuberculosis virus. But when the immune system goes down, you can easily contract all these illnesses. So the point is, when the immune system of the ultimate happiness, when that is reduced by the power of the two demons, self-grasping, ignorance, self-centered attitude, we can easily become affected by external factors. Somebody says that, okay, say, oh, you look nice. When somebody says you look nice, there's a problem, right? Again, you may be suspicious. Oh, you don't look nice. Again, there's a problem, right? We are so easily affected by external factors, which means that the two demons inside us, it is not you who is bad. You are so precious. Each one of you, each one of us here, including myself, each one of us, we are so precious, we are so important. What makes us suffer is not you, it's the two demons inside us. So separate the two demons from you. This you is very precious. The moment the two demons are exterminated, this you will become enlightened one to benefit all beings. You are so precious. So what really troubles us is the two demons within us, self-grasping ignorance and self-centered attitude. So eventually, after learning all these, say, by the end of the 1 year, Diploma Course International, Nalanda Studies Diploma Course International, then we're expected to precisely know what self-grasping ignorance is, what self-centered attitude is, and precisely know the distinction between the two, and precisely know how to get rid of these two demons within us. And you will see the wonder, amazing. When something goes wrong on us, usually what happens is that we have a sense of, I'm just a hopeless person. I am the one who's a hopeless person. I'm the one who's wrong. No, don't ever criticize yourself. Don't ever have a self-hate. This self is so important. If you really want to hate someone, if you really want to criticize someone, don't criticize yourself, criticize the two demons within yourself. The more you criticize, the more you say point your finger towards the two demons inside, the more you will work to get rid of these two demons. Once the two demons are removed, then the diamond picked up from the ditch, when the dirt outside, the filth outside, when that is removed completely, cleansed completely, this diamond is as precious as the diamond that you see in the king's palace or the queen's palace or whatever, right? So it is equally precious. So each one of us, when the two demons are exterminated, then this self, what we call as you, this self becomes another enlightened being, as important, as enlightened as any other enlightened beings. Okay, with this in mind, we'll recite this mantra, not only for ourselves, but for your parents, for your family members, for all dear sentient beings. Om ye dharma hetu prabhava hetum deshan tathagatu ayavatat desham chayo nirodha evam vadi mahashramanaya svaha. Om ye dharma hetu prabhava hetum desham tathagatu yavatat desham chayo nirodha evam vati mahashramanaya svaha. Om ye dharma hetu prabhava hetum desham tathagatu yavatat desham nirodha evam vati mahashramanaya svaha. All phenomena arise from causes. The causes are taught by the Tathagata. The cessation of the causes as well is taught by the great seer. Profound, peaceful, elaboration-free, clear light and non-composite. Such is the nectar of dharma I have discovered.
Once the person speaks in silence, I will add to the book.
Beyond our trends, thought and expression is the perfectional wisdom, which is unborn, unceased, and has the nature of space. Is the original apprehension of self-realized wisdom. To you, the mother of the Buddhas of the three times outgoing obeisances. The Guru is the Buddha, the Guru is the Dharma, likewise the Guru is the Sangha. The Guru is the source of all, I go for refuge in the Guru. By the sound of the drum of Dharma, please liberate all beings of miseries. I beseech you to kindly remain and give teachings until the end of the expansive billions of aeons. The Buddha does not watch the negativities of beings, nor does he remove their miseries by his hands. His spiritual realizations are not transferred to them, is by teaching the truth of the suchness that the beings are liberated. With folded hands I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries grown. If attached to this life, you are not a spiritual practitioner. If attached to samsara, you have no renunciation. If attached to your own self-interest, you have no bodhicitta. Okay, page 14. To the founder, the endowed transcendent destroyer, one gone beyond, the full destroyer, completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and good conduct, Sugata, know the world, supreme guide of human beings to be tamed, treasure of gods and human beings. To you, the subduer from the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. When, O Supreme amongst humans, you were born on this earth, you paced our 7 strides and said, I am supreme in this world. To you who are wise then, I prostrate, with pure bodies, formed supremely pure. Just be like you, the 3 worlds are not. Incompatible wise one, to you I prostrate. The Savior having great compassion, the Founder having all understanding, The field of merit with qualities like a vast ocean. To you, the Tathagata prostrate. The purity that frees one from attachment. The virtue that frees one from the lower realms. The one path, the sublime pure reality, to the Dhamma that pacifies the prostrate. Those who are liberated also show the path to liberation. The holy field qualified with realizations, who are devoted to the moral precepts. To you, the Sangha prostrate. To not commit any non-virtuous actions, perform only perfect virtuous actions. Subdue your mind thoroughly. This is the teaching of the Buddha. A star, a visual aberration, flame of lamp, an illusion, a drop of dew or a bubble, a dream, a flash of lightning, a cloud, see conditioned things as such. Through these merits may sentient beings attain the rank of all seeing, subdue the four falls, and be delivered from samsara's ocean, perturbed by ways of aging, sickness, and death. Okay, Heart Sutra Mantra, page 31. As we recite this mantra is so precious. As we recite this mantra, what we should be reminded of is that finally I should be happy. And the real happiness is related to my mind. External factors are there. External factors play a very important role. But finally, it should be sort of related pertaining to my mind. So this mind decides whether you're happy, unhappy. So the treasure of happiness, ultimate happiness, is within each one of us. It is no doubt what you have and what the Buddha has, what Mahatma Gandhi has, what His Holiness the Dalai Lama has. No difference. Like a diamond, 1 kg diamond, picked up from a ditch, and 1 kg diamond, so clean outside there. The same, if you give it to the diamond expert, will say that these two diamonds are exactly the same, there's no difference. What is the difference? Just the surface. Surface, they are filth there, smeared with the filth. We remove the filth, clean it, is perfectly clean as the clean one. So, finally, the diamond, like the ultimate happiness, is within myself. I need to learn how to get rid of the mental filth, so this diamond will become manifest and will be unwrapped fully. Okay, so this stage, Gade, Gade, Paragade, Parasamgade, Bodhiswaha. So, cleansing the mind in the form of these 5 stages. Stages which we have to do, which we will study now. So this is what we should be reminded of as we recite this mantra 7 times. And when we are in a new place, if you can say this mantra for others, for all others, the innumerable human beings are there, innumerable animals are there, insects are there, the local spirits are there, and the celestial beings are there. For them, if you recite this would be so good, finally for them to discover the ultimate happiness. Okay, everybody seeks happiness, but we don't know how to seek the happiness. So this is the way by which to seek the happiness, by cleansing your mind of the mental defilements and discovering the ultimate happiness within. Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasambhati Bodhiswaha Dhyata Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasambhati Bodhiswaha Dhyata Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasambhati Bodhiswaha Dhyata Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasamgati Bodhisvatyata Gati Paragati Parasamgati Bodhisvatyata Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasamgati Bodhisvaha. Okay, next we read page 32. 8 verse of mind training. The 8 verse of mind training, this is again, as I said earlier, the 8 verse of mind training, it is the teaching on finding the remedies to cleanse the mind of the mental defilements. And from what we're learning is that within the mind, the defilements which we also call as the demons, self-grasping ignorance. So this ignorance gives rise to the negative emotions such as attachment, greed, anger, jealousy, competitiveness, fear, and so forth. And these in turn will drive us into contaminated karmas. And these karmas will eventually project us into the miseries, endless miseries. Then on the other side we have the self-centered attitude. Self-centered attitude. These two things, self-grasping and self-centered attitude, these two they work hand in hand. And all these, the turbulent state of the mind, the mental anxiety, fear, tension, depression, and so forth are created. So we see that this mental turbulence, it is lack of the wisdom and lack of the compassion. So the counterforce of compassion is the anger. So this anger is somehow rooted to what is known as the self-referential ego. So how to crush this self-ego? In fact, again, the self-centered, self-grasping, the referential ego, referring to always I. So this thought, how that is so destructive. So when it arises in us, it gives us a feeling of strength, and it gives us some kind of false, illusory confidence that I have to destroy others, that I have to protect myself. In actuality, it cannot really do anything good to us. It only destroys us. And if you don't believe in this, be watchful when it arises in us. Say when you interact with someone else, and somebody says that, so you are less qualified than me. So what is your emotional reaction? Instantly the ego will arise. So likewise, we see that there are so many situations, daily basis. We see that there are situations where the ego, self-referential ego, arises in us. So when that arises, that it does not do anything good to us. It only comes in the facade of guarding us, giving us strength, giving us protection, and so forth. It is actually not. This is the greatest deception. How can we distinguish between somebody who is, say, the ordinary versus evolved? Is somebody who is able to see this self-grasping ignorance. This is what is creating miseries on me. It is not freeing me. It is not giving me strength. It is giving me a false, deceptive, the stupid, foolish courage, right? Courage. And this is the one which actually destroys me. So somebody who realizes this is the evolved person. Somebody who says that the self-doubt, when the ego arises, self-referential ego arises, then you feel the strength, and somebody says, oh no, cool down, what cool down? Right? What cool down? The moment you say this, this is just telling others that I'm an ordinary person. I'm still the servant of this self-grasping ignorance. I'm still the servant of the self-referential ego. Right? I'm so weak. Okay, so say when you're calm and peaceful, if you see two persons, one, both are being attacked by someone else, insulted by someone else, criticized by someone else, in the same measure, but A remains calm, peaceful. Okay, yes, I know the external person, the other person really insulted me, criticized me baselessly, but whether I'm irritated or not is in my hand, right? Whether I feel irritated or not, that is in my hand. Why should I feel irritated when the other person tries to make me unhappy? And then if I say yes, which means that I'm agreeing to him, I'm making the other person, I'm justifying what the other person did as correct. The other person wants to provoke you and you're provoked. Whereas if you don't, if you're not provoked, you're not actually approving other person's actions, and you are actually saying that other person, you failed in your job trying to provoke me. I'm not provoked. I cannot be provoked by you, right? Many remain calm and go. Other one person easily becoming irritated, agitated like this. So who do you think is more evolved and who is ordinary? The one who is easily agitated, irritated, right? Surrendering to the self-grasping, surrendering to the ego, that person is ordinary. We can easily say this. But when we are captivated by this ego, when this ego captivates or arrests us ourselves, then we fall prey to this, right? We fall prey to the self-referential ego. We behave in the same way. So if you think, just create two scenarios where on the one hand you are here and two people are there, both being badly insulted in group, and then one person remains so calm, peaceful, not surrendering to the self-referential ego. Other person surrender to the ego. You look at it, okay, this is amazing. The first person's wonderful, he's so evolved, she's so evolved. The first person, second person is, oh no, this is what is known as an ordinary person, right? Because we're suffering. Both receive the same insult, but the one is not suffering, the person B is suffering. Likewise, if somebody attacks me, how will I behave, right? I will not behave like the second person, I will behave like the first person, I'll try, right? So when it does happen, then there's a time, by prior reflection on this, when it does happen to you, anything of such things happen, then it is for you to give a second thought. Should I really act impulsively in line with the self-referential ego, or I'll say no to self-referential ego, right? And then within yourself, if you're able to, our habit as well, our habitual tendency is to surrender to self-referential ego. But this time, you give yourself a little time and stay controlled. Okay, let me not give in to the self-referential ego. Let me not give to the anger. You remain calm, peaceful. You will see the magic. Otherwise, you become so irritated, you breathe so heavily, then you meet your mother, you meet the people who love you, then they show affection towards you, you become even more angry towards them, you shout at your mother, and so forth. No, this is not happening. I'm so calm, peaceful. You meet your mother, you appreciate the mother's love and affection, your mother gives you, say, a cup of tea, you enjoy this tea. It's amazing. You see the difference, right? So this is the purpose of the spirituality. This is the purpose of the study of the Nalanda Diploma course and the Nalanda Master's course International, right? Okay, so with this in mind, we see that the self-referential ego, when it arises, that must be under control, right? That is to be blamed, not you. Don't blame yourself that I'm just hopeless person, I'm the worst person. Don't blame yourself. Blame this self-referential ego. And this ego will manifest in the form of anger. when you cannot say when you see that the situation is out of your control and the ego is there, it will manifest in the form of anger. And the anger is a sign of weakness. By no means it is a sign of strength. How? When a dog, if you chase the dog, as long as the dog sees that there's a place for the dog to escape, the dog will not bite back to you. Right? It will run, because there's a place to run. So there's the strength there, there's escape there. But when the dog is cornered, the dog cannot run anywhere, then the dog becomes desperate, will attack you. Right? So attacking, anger, is being aggressive, attacking others. So this anger is simply the sign of the weakness. It is not the sign of strength. Calmness. Despite knowing the situation, maintaining calm, peaceful, confident, that is the sign of strength. Right? Okay, so in practical terms, how should we be doing? Say the self-referential ego, this is what is visible to us. At the same time, this is the mastermind of the other emotional states. And what manifests out of this self-referential ego, the first thing is the manifestation in the form of anger. Right? So how to get rid of anger, how to say no to anger, and how to see this anger which comes as a facade of guarding you, protecting you, strength of yours. No, at all, not at all. It is a sign of weakness. Instead of guarding you, it destroys you eventually. Right? So first of all, your peace of mind is disrupted. And everybody seeks peace of mind. Everybody goes to what? On excursion, to go the beach like this. For what? To find a relaxed state of mind. What? Peace of mind. Everybody craves for the peace of mind. First thing the anger does is, it destroys the peace of mind, right? Okay, you're going in the wilderness for, holiday, family holiday, you go to wilderness. You go and say some very peaceful place there, and then suddenly a stranger comes and says something, but where are you from, right? You encroach in my place like this. Are you in a paradise? No, your peace of mind is disrupted. Your whole holiday is disrupted. What made you disrupted the holiday? Not that person. Your anger disrupted it. If the person comes, but if you don't give into anger, you can explain, you can have a dialogue, you can apologize, I'm sorry. 99% of the people, if you say sorry, and if you may unknowingly, unintentionally can make some mistakes. If you say sorry, you leave. Nobody will, say 99% of the people will forgive you. It's not a problem. But our self-referential ego will not seek forgiveness from the other person. Will try to fight with the other person, right? And then the whole holiday is disrupted. What disrupts the holiday? It's anger inside us. So anger is one which destroys us. This is the greatest sign of the weakness. Weakness means that you don't want something, you're getting it. Right? You don't want misery and you're getting the misery. That is weakness. Somebody who's strong, I don't want the misery, say, who has the immune system, very strong immune system, and a weak immune system. Who can get the illnesses more easily? Weak immune system. Right? So somebody with anger, the unhappiness is more. Mental irritation is more. So therefore, anger is a sign of weakness, which means that the immune system within you is very weak. Right? Okay, just see how much we can control our anger. The first step that you should take is towards your mother. Because the mother is the first victim of you cannot express anger easily towards the strangers. Because stranger may equally slap you. Right, so this you are aware of that. So therefore you dare not show anger towards the strangers and towards your colleagues. Right? But you're the mother, you're confident that even if you shout at mother will not stab you back. Right? So mother is the first the victim of your anger. So see how you can control this towards your mother. Just make your mother happy, make your father happy, right? And see to the change in the happiness of your own mind. This is a magic, it's amazing. You will see this, right? When you see that you're doing so good to your mother, but otherwise you can easily shout at mother, the father, right? That stops now, is under control. The glow in the mother's face, glow in the father's face will make you glow even more, right? The more you glow, all the family members, they will find so happy, they're so happy, right? When the family members are very happy, the neighbors will be so fascinated by your family, right? They will envy your family. Okay, this is so important. So finally we see that anger is a sign of weakness. So this anger is given rise to by the self-referential ego. How to get rid of the self-referential ego? What we are reading from here, 8 verse mind training, that will help us to subdue this self-referential ego and boost our self-confidence. Okay, so ego is to be subdued and self-confidence should be boosted. Don't forget it, right? Okay, self-confidence must be boosted. This is so important. And the ego must be subdued. Otherwise, ordinary people, we see that when the ego is subdued, our self-confidence also goes down. This is wrong. When we boost our self-confidence, our ego also goes up. This is the sign of our being ordinary, right? Highly evolved beings, the ego is subdued, self-confidence is boosted. This is the sign of being evolved. Okay, so with this in mind, let's turn to page 32, 8 verses of mind training. With the determination to achieve the highest aim for the benefit of all sentient beings, which surpasses even the wish-fulfilling gem, may hold them dear at all times. Whenever I interact with someone, may I view myself as a ruler of someone's soul, and from the very depths of my heart respectfully hold others as superior. In all my deeds may I probe into my mind, and as soon as mental and emotional afflictions arise, as they endanger myself and others, may I strongly confront them and avert them. When I see beings of unpleasant character, oppressed by strong negativity and suffering, may I hold them dear, for they are rare to find, as if I have discovered a jewel treasure. When others out of jealousy treat me wrongly with abuse, slander, and scorn, may I take upon myself the defeat and offer to others the victory. When someone whom I have held or in whom I have placed great hopes mistreats me in extremely hurtful ways, may I regard him still as my precious teacher. In brief, may I offer benefit and joy to all my mothers, both directly and indirectly. May I quietly take upon myself all hurts and pains of my mothers. May all this remain undefiled by the stains of age, mundane concerns, and may I recognize in all things as illusions. From our true collections, vast space that were amassed from working with effort at this practice for a great length of time, may I become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose minds wisdom is blinded by ignorance. Okay. Okay, continuation from where we left last time. Last time we were talking about the Four Noble Truths, the 4 cycles of the teaching on Four Noble Truths pertaining to the first, what is the first set of the 4 cycles? Pertaining to identification of the Four Noble Truths, and then the set of the 4 cycles of the Four Noble Truths pertaining to the practice associated with the Four Noble Truths. What practice should we be doing? Then finally, on the 4 cycles pertaining to the result that we're going to experience if we practice the Four Noble Truths the way as intended. Okay, so we are doing the first part. The second and the third we did it. The first part pertaining to identification. With identification, the Buddha said, this is the truth of suffering, this is the truth of the cause of suffering, and this is the truth of the cessation of suffering, and this is the truth of the path leading to the cessation of suffering. Very good. From these 4, we did the first one, the truth of the suffering. Next, we're talking about the truth of suffering. We learned that there are 3 kinds of the suffering. Suffering of what?
Manifest.
Manifest suffering or suffering of suffering. Same. Number 2 is suffering of change. What is number 3? Pervasive condition suffering. Okay, tell me. Give me some examples of the first suffering, manifest suffering or the suffering. Can you give me some examples very quickly? Normal pain, sickness,
Loss of dear ones.
the pain of losing near and dear ones, stress, depression, anxiety, and so forth. Very good. In other words, all pains, all problems which we identify them as problems. These all fall under the category of the manifest suffering of suffering. Okay, number 2, can you give me an example of number 2, suffering of change? Okay, raise hands. All contaminated happiness. Okay, some can give me an example? Huh? Okay, the joy, the happiness, not just the momos, right? The joy of experience, the joy of eating momos. Anyone else? No? Wow, you just attending few sessions of the room because you have already identified. Okay, anyone? The truth of the no. The suffering change. More examples?
So the boss example, in which you are told that the upper boss and the master of the boss, when you are working under him and you are not happy with him, you are kind of
No, what example is to precisely be very precise? Okay, give me an example.
under pressure you are working with and you are not happy with it.
You are not happy means this is not suffering of change, right? You said that all contaminated happiness. This is not happiness, right? This is still misery.
Boss has gone out for 30 days and
Wow, the boss has gone out 30 days and you are enjoying. This feeling of enjoyment when the boss is away for 30 days. That is the suffering of change. Very good. Okay. In other words, all what we consider as happiness, they fall under the category of suffering change. Okay, tell me, why the happiness which we consider as which we experience as happiness, why is that known as the suffering of change? Why is that known as suffering? Why? Very quick.
because after some time it becomes a pain, repetition of that thing.
Okay, after some time it becomes pain. Before that is not pain. Before that is happiness, right?
Yes.
Okay, then it's not suffering.
No, at that time we don't consider it as a pain.
No, is that suffering or not?
No, not initially.
It's not suffering. Okay, anyone else who may differ your view from Vivekji? Huh? Is that a suffering or not?
We don't consider it as a suffering.
My question is that suffering or not?
Yes.
How?
Because it will ultimately lead to the pain.
Okay, ultimately it leads to pain. Okay, tell me, right? Okay, ultimately it leads to pain. Let me enjoy it now. Is it fine? Huh?
That's what we do.
Yes, that's what we do. Okay, so say there is what is that? The trap. There's a trap there, and inside the trap there is let's say the prison execution, right? The first prison where the swimming pool, all these things are there. If you know that this is a trap for me, by seeing this, would you be happy or unpleasant feeling will come to you? You're getting it? This is how we should be able to see it. Okay, it's nice for the time being. Later on, you will change your suffering. Not like this. The moment we see this, we should see this as a suffering. Right? As a suffering. Whereas if you don't see this, then we are deceived. We are under the deception. You're getting it? But it is suffering because it is a bait. Bait means it has two things. One which a wise person can see, and one which is unwise person, what unwise person can see. The same thing. Okay, good. Now what is number 3? What is the pervasive condition suffering? What example do we have for pervasive condition the suffering? What do you understand by pervasive condition suffering? Are being under the sway. Can anyone say this? Anyone? What is what do you understand by the third kind of suffering? We noticed something. Now the third one is very technical, right? Third one. Can we say, go back to your notes earlier what we wrote, and then say this third stuff. Our being under the sway, and this technical part is very important, right? Our being under the sway of the contaminated karmas and affliction. For example, saying what who said it? Deepak. Okay. Say our being under the influence of the very cruel boss. Our being under the influence of the cruel boss. Even if your job is over, then you retire to your room, right? So till next morning you are not going to see your boss, but still your mind is not happy, right? Because I'm constantly under him. Only when he leaves to America altogether, now he already resigned from the job, then you feel a freedom. That freedom is very different from the freedom that you get when your boss leaves for holiday, 1 month holiday, right? You feel some degree of freedom, but that freedom is very short-lived and not too relaxing as much as the one that you feel when you realize that your boss has already retired and left America for good. That freedom, you feel the total freedom. Okay, so we have identified those things. Now the next one is the truth of the cause of suffering. Truth of cause of suffering, if you could remember what we did earlier, say the suffering is what? Like the flowers, poisonous flowers. So poisonous flowers are given rise to by the stem of the contaminated karmas, and the contaminated karmas are supported by the trunk of the afflictions, and the afflictions are supported by the root of the self-grasping ignorance. You're getting it? What is visible for the ordinary people and for everyone is the flowers, poisonous flowers, the suffering, right? Suffering. So this suffering, underneath that suffering is what? Contaminated karmas, afflictions, and the self-grasping ignorance. You're getting it? These three things are there. So this suffering, the flower is the suffering. This suffering, what is the cause of this suffering? How many causes are there? From what we learned thus far is what? Contaminated karmas, afflictions, self-grasping ignorance is a part of the afflictions, right? So if you remember, we said that we give the analogy of the Prime Minister and the ministers. Prime Minister also a minister, but because he's the main, we count him as a separate Prime Minister. Likewise, self-grasping ignorance is an affliction, but we count it as separate, not because it is not affliction, because it is the chief of the affliction, right? And eventually we have to not only just theoretically learn, in your mind, just seeing your mind, observing your mind, you should be able to see that the self-grasping ignorance within me, when does it arise? When does it subside? When does it become very active? How this self-grasping ignorance gives rise to the afflictions, and how the afflictions they drive me to engage in karmas, right? So this we should be able to see that within yourself. It should not be just left as a theoretical studies. You're getting it? This is so important. The moment you start sensing all these things within your mind, how the self-grasping ignorance arises, and how that gives rise to the attachment, anger, jealousy, and so forth, how they in turn give rise to engage in all these actions. Got to have karmas, and karmas resulting in the miseries, right? If you know this, you will see that now this life is of great, incredible meaning. You're able to discover the wealth inside, right? So once you see that the mental defilements, removing the mental defilements, then you see the treasure inside, treasure happiness inside. You're getting it? Okay, this is without which no matter what we do, right, the ultimate happiness will never arise in us. The source of the ultimate happiness is within us, but it will never become manifest. Okay, so the cause of the what? The cause of the suffering. We see that there are mainly two. What are they? Contaminant karmas and afflictions. So self-grasping ignorance is a part of the afflictions. Contaminant karmas and afflictions. Now I'd like to add the third one. Third one is active seeds. Active seeds of contaminant karmas and afflictions. Active seeds of the former two. Active seeds of the former two. Okay, this is so important. Okay, let's say former two, meaning the active seeds of the contaminant karmas and active seeds of the afflictions. Okay, seeds, why I said active seeds? Why I did not just say seeds? Is because seeds can be of two kinds, active and inactive seeds, right? Okay, let's say a seed, a burned seed and a fresh seed. A burned seed and a fresh seed. Burned seed is also a seed, but you plant it, nothing will grow out of that. Whereas the fresh seed, not burnt, fresh seed, you plant it and things will grow. You're getting it? Likewise, say a garlic, solid garlic, you smash the garlic in the glass, and then I say, how dare you smash garlic in my glass, I don't eat garlic. Okay, then you will feel apologetic, you remove the garlic, you wash it with water, so clean, now you try to see what is there, nothing comes out of that. So solid garlic is gone. You smell it, you still smell garlic. You're getting it? Okay. Although the solid part is gone, active part of the garlic is gone, but the smell is still left. Likewise, metal stains, active part of the metal stains are already removed. Still the smell like the metal stain can be left. So that is the inactive seeds. You getting it? Okay. One is the active seed, one is the inactive seed. For example, say, how many of you are angry now? How many of you are angry now? No one. And you are raising a hand with smiling. Right? Smile means there's joy inside. Anger, the joy is disrupted. Instantly the joy is disrupted. Right? Okay. So, no one is angry now. Right? And then, going back to your home, right? To your home, hostel, whatever, you go there, and your neighbor or whatever creates a little bit of problem, anger arises. Okay, tell me, when you were in Tibet house, your mind was very peaceful, no anger, smiling. Suddenly, where this anger came from, right? Say a handful of sand, you squeeze it, oil comes out or not? Wow, this is very special class. In the world, nobody will say the handful of sand, squeeze it, oil will come out. It has never happened. Not Tibet house, it is happening. Okay, we will say yes, right? Okay, don't trust my face. Don't trust my words. Okay, say handful of sand, if you squeeze it, oil comes out or not? Again, Deepak saying yes. Huh? Okay, handful of sand. Squeeze it, oil Comes out? Not. No oil will come out. Okay. Now, handful of sunflower seeds. You squeeze it, oil comes out of not. Yes. What's the difference? Well, why the handful of sand, oil does not come, and why the handful of sunflower seeds, oil comes out? Why? Anyone? Raise hand, very quick. Okay, Radhaji. Exactly. It's not a philosophy question, right? Everybody, he must be expecting philosophy answer, right? Yes, this answer. Sand does not have oil inside, whereas the sunflower seeds have oil inside. You're getting it? Likewise, when you're in Tibet house, there's no anger. When you go back to your place, somebody creates problem, instantly anger arises. How this anger comes out? There must be something inside you when you are in Tibet house, right? That is not in the manifest form of anger, but the seed of the anger is still within us. You're getting it? There's a seed. It's not anger, the potential of the anger. You're getting it? Likewise, contaminant karmas, right? And then the afflictions. In Tibet house, we are not doing anything bad. Karma, no bad karma is being done. But the past bad karma is done, these seeds are with us now. Anger, nobody is angry now. But in the past, we had experience of anger. That seed is what we're carrying now. How do we know that we have this seed of anger? Or the seed of disattachment? When we go to the what? Shopping malls? Which shopping mall? City Walk, right? So there you see the branded things there. Then I need this. It instantly arises. So which means that we already have the seed there. Now the seed is becoming manifest. Likewise, when somebody insults us, then anger arises. So this anger was not present when you were in Tibet house. Then when you come out, when you meet with the situation, anger becomes manifest. Which means that what becomes manifest earlier, it was in the form of seeds. Okay, so we talk about the what are the causes of suffering? What are the causes? Identify the truth of the cause of suffering. One is contaminant karmas. Number two is afflictions. Number three is active seeds of the afflictions and the contaminant karmas. So these are the three, say the exhaustive. These three are the exhaustive lists of the cause of this suffering. Okay, cause of suffering. Within karma, again, we see that there are so many kinds of karmas. Okay, there are so many ways of classifying karmas. Here in this class, I will explain karma in, they say, okay, maybe 2 or 3 ways of classification I'll do here. And the rest, the more detail, we'll study later on, right? Okay, one is definite karma and uncertain karma. If you understand the classification of karma in these 2 forms, definite karma and uncertain karma, then many of the misconceptions pertaining to karma can be resolved. Definite karma and uncertain karma.
What is the second one?
Uncertain. Uncertain karma. Definite karma and uncertain karma. Okay. Definite karma means a very forceful karma, whether it's a positive karma or a negative karma, but a very forceful karma. Very forceful karma is known as definite karma. And uncertain karma is a weak karma. Weak in strength. A karma which is weak in strength is uncertain karma. Okay, let's say that okay, somebody who has, or somebody who is quite intelligent, mentally sharp, intelligent, and always ending up in the nightclubs and pubs, and in the exams always fail. Right? Why you always fail? You are very intelligent. It's my karma. Right? This is how people do. Right? People just throw everything on karma so that they can be exempted from responsibility. Yeah. This is a terrible misconception, abuse of the concept of karma. Right? Then either because the boy or the girl says like this, and because you do not have the clear picture of what karma is, how the karma is, right? You heard about these things since your childhood from your parents. Then either because you see this bad consequence happening, and you rationally know that if this boy stops going to the nightclubs, stops going to the pubs, instead spend a little more time on studies, he can be the topper in the class. You know this. Knowing this, and then the boy saying that is my karma, right? Then you can, particularly if you are the boy's, say the sister, or the brother, or father, or mother, then you become very angry towards the law of karma, right? Law of karma is just nonsense. Forget about this law of karma, right? Okay. Or, if you're too pious, you may say, yes, you are right, you will spoil the child. And somebody says, why your son is not doing so, he's so bright, why he's always failing, why is his karma? You also fall in the same trap. Okay, this is where we abuse the concept of karma by not knowing the real concept of karma, right? Just shirking your responsibility on the ground of the concept of the karma. Okay, now if you understand these two things so well, definite karma and uncertain karma, this concept so well, you can easily stop the person, right, saying that is my karma. What karma? Do you know what karma is? You can explain the karma so well, right? Okay, first of all, in the first place, karma means, say it's a physical, verbal and mental actions which you did. You did through your own intention. It is in your hand in the first place, number one. It is in your hand in the first place. Number two, those you did in the past, due to your ignorance or whatever, right? There, if the karma is so intense, so forceful, which is known as definite karma, then we cannot do as much. We cannot do, I'm not saying that we cannot do anything. What did I say? You cannot do as much. We can. Even the definite karmas can be changed. But the remedy to change it must be equally extremely forceful. Otherwise, we cannot change it. Right? But the most of the karmas which we blamed, with which we blame for things, they are not the definite karmas, they are uncertain karmas. Uncertain karmas, even though they are past karmas affecting on you, you can still control them. You can still control them. Right? Okay, I'll give you an example. This is so important. Okay, for example, say usually I keep paracetamol with me. Usually I keep paracetamol with me. So when somebody becomes sick, if I come to know that it's because of just the viral flu, right? And there's no other choice, no hospitals nearby, and the person is going through acute headache, right? I give it paracetamol. So this headache is what? Because of the negative karma. Yes? Any experience of happiness, any experience of pain that each one of us were going through, no doubt is because of the past effect of the past karmas. No doubt. Don't forget it. Yet, it can be controlled. Okay. So this person, If I don't give the paracetamol, he has to go 1 hour. He has to walk 1 hour to get to the hospital. Meanwhile, walking 1 hour will deteriorate his illness, may even kill the person on the road, right? So there's no point in going to the hospital. And what you have is the paracetamol. If I don't give the paracetamol, he has to go through this illness for the next 3 days. The moment I give this paracetamol, right, his illness will stop. It happens so many times, but I should be very careful. Is it really because of just the viral flu, right? Or some other complications are there, like, say, tuberculosis, pneumonia. So these things paracetamol cannot help. Okay, well, I have to check very carefully. If I sense that this is just a viral flu, then I can give it. So the karma that this person is now experiencing is a negative karma, which has the capacity to make him suffer for the next 3 days. You agree with me? How do you know that? If I don't give the medicine, he will suffer for the next 3 days. Any suffering is a result of one's own negative karma. You're getting it? But by giving this medicine, he does not have to suffer for the next 2 days. Even this 1 day, within 5 minutes, the fever will go down by taking the paracetamol. Within 5 minutes, it will go over, right? And if you're able to control, if you're able to give the medicine at the right time, the next 3 days, the person will be freed from the suffering. So this karma, which this person otherwise had to go for the next 3 days, can be interrupted by giving the medicine, right? Which means that this karma is not intense, definite karma. It is a weak karma, which can be controlled by us easily. You getting it?
So taking the paracetamol is good karma.
That is another set of karma, right? This is not his karma. It's I'm accumulating new karma. I'm accumulating positive karma. Okay, don't give paracetamols to accumulate positive karma. It can kill other people, right? Okay, so we have to know the right time, right place, right illness, right? Okay, so the point is that person is accumulating another karma. That is the other person's accumulation. So I'm talking about one set of karma, right? One. Now, say the person doesn't study at all. Some person doesn't study at all. Class 12 board exam is coming. You just gave the exam, right? Okay, 12 board exam is coming. And then you did not study for the last, say, the 5-8 months. You're just in the pubs, partying, the nightclubs, and so forth. And the last minute, you study so hard, days, night, with a very strong coffee. And then you become sick. Tomorrow the exam, you become sick. Right? It happens. So this, what is this? Oh, it's my karma, right? Okay, it's not really karma. Of course it's karma. But what you say is karma is like this is my definite karma. It's not definite karma. Right? You just unnecessarily spoiled yourself, destroyed the opportunity for you to stop this negative karma from you not experiencing a good result. Whereas you studied so well, you prepared it so well for the last whole 1 year, and all the last 12 years you studied so well in the class. Finally, the class 12 result, which is what determines your the career, college, which college to join, and so forth. Then you study so well, and then tomorrow is the exam, and today you become sick, terribly sick. Impossible. You don't have even energy to stand up. So that is a definite karma, right? That is definitely. If you say that this is my karma, the person is very right. Okay, so I'll give you one example. Example is that, say, a toy train versus express train. Toy train, right? Say there is a toddler, a very young child, say like 50 yards away from you, and the toy train is running next to you. Toy train is running. If you don't stop the toy train can crush the toddler. Toy train means not just a small train, it's quite big. Quite big, it can easily crush the child, but because it's not a proper train, you can stop it. Okay, now if you let go of the train without stopping it, the train can crush the child. Whereas when you see the child, you see the train moving, you hold it, you stop it, you can save the child. Whereas child is 50 yards away from you, and the express train, the real train, the big, massive train, that is running next to you, can you stop it? You cannot stop it. You cannot jump. It's like, say 50 yards away from you, far away, you cannot jump. So there this train is bound to crush the child. You're getting it? So this big train crushing child is example for the definite karma acting on us. And the toy train crushing the child is my negligence. Right? My negligence in letting the toy train. If there is a paper train which runs there and runs over the child, it cannot do anything. Right? So this is where there is no action, the karma affecting on the child. Whereas with the toy train, it can affect the child. You can also control it. It is weak as compared to the proper big train. Right? Why the big train is out of my control? Because I don't have that energy to stop it. This train, to stop it, what? Stop it, it should be stopped 1 kilometer ahead of the actual place. You have to stop it from, the early on. Okay. Whereas if there is another force which is as powerful as the big train against the big train, then this train can be stopped. But that force requires a tremendous force. Likewise, for the definite karma, to stop the definite karma, we require incredible, powerful, virtue to stop the definite karma, definite negative karma. Right? Okay. So this is what we need to keep in mind. So this is definite karma and the what? Uncertain karma. Oftentimes, where people blame is not the definite karmas. They are uncertain karmas, which are actually what we can manipulate, which we can stop. Right? Okay. This is one thing. Then the next thing that I'd like to share with you, the classification of the karma, is, say, the ripening karma, karma pertaining to the ripening result, the karma pertaining to the ripening effect, and the karma pertaining to the, karma pertaining to the similarity with the cause. Okay, two things. One is karma pertaining to the ripening effect, and the other karma pertaining to the similarity with the cause. Okay. Now the ripening result means if you engage in negative karmas, only pains will result. Experience, in terms of ripening, experience is the pain, experience of the pain. Whereas if you do a positive karma, then the result that you're going to experience is a happiness, experience of happiness. That is pertaining to the ripening effect. Now the next one is the karma pertaining to the similarity with the cause. This has two kinds. This has again two kinds, similarity with the cause. Say, if one engages in the act of destroying others' life, killing and so forth, destroying others' life, this cause it takes the form of shortening the other's life. So therefore, the result that you're going to experience in the future is that you will have a short life. Short life. Where untimely people can kill you, and untimely you will have sickness and you can die very untimely young. So that is the pertaining to the to the experience. To the experience. Similar in terms of saying you shorten the life of others, and next life you will experience the life, the short life. And then in this life, when how you kill, say if you kill with creating so much of fear and pain in others, next life, same time, same way, you will also have to go through so much of fear and pain at the time of death. So these are the similarity with the cause pertaining to the experience. The next is extremely important that we have to keep in mind. The next one. That is the similarity with the cause pertaining to the habitual actions. Habitual actions. Okay, this is so important. So important. Say, in this life, if you engage in the act of, say, giving, act of giving. So this is a karma of giving. Karma of giving, charity, generosity, so forth. So next life, this habit you will take to the next life. Next life, without being taught, or you just see someone giving something, this just open your eyes and you just go into full swing, full-fledged, say the charity. You become such a champion of charity because of your early habit of giving in the past lives. Right? And likewise, stinginess. This is giving, the opposite is stinginess. If you've always been stingy in this life, you carry this imprint with you next life, and next life also you'll become stingy. And this life, you say the accumulated karma of studying, reflecting, meditating on emptiness, bodhicitta, compassion, so forth. So this habit you will take to your next life. Right? The next life. And next life, say in this life, if you're so habituated to practicing the dependent origination, how everything is dependently originated. Right? Next life, people say, oh, you're independent, be independent. Even this word, you don't just mentally, you cannot really approve of this word, independent, because we are all dependent. And somebody says dependent, you just feel that now I'm at home. Right? This is what I'm looking for. And this is the reality. How this comes to you and not to other children, right, is because you have built this karma of understanding, karma of studying, reflecting on the concept of the dependent nature of each other. Okay, so this is so important. So therefore, in this life, it is very important to see how to build the good habits. So these habits, in terms of actions, we will carry forward to the next life. So where we will not find any difficulty in, for example, say, for some children even at the homes, right? Some children, that is actually what I've seen in my own life, right? So when I see my cousins have their children since a very young age, how they behave, some are very lazy, right? Okay, wash your own cup, okay, later. And some, right, you don't have to say, some is the children of the same parents and just pick up all the dishes, right, and then wash them, just say some, then instantly we do. It's amazing, you could see this contrast. This is surely the habit that you brought from the past life, right? Okay, in fact, one thing which most of us might have they watched that on the WhatsApp, right? There's one which is very interesting. A young toddler boy maybe age 1 or 1.5, maybe less than, maybe 1 year. So this boy, he was in the, what is that? Huh? Huh?
High chair.
No, he was on the high chair, and then with this what? Huh? Babe? Bib. Okay, with a bib. Okay, which means he's a toddler. In actuality, he's not a toddler. He's not toddler. Why do these people put him in this baby chair? You know, the bib. He's not a toddler. Look at how he's doing. The mother gave him some chocolates. He was throwing look at the chocolate and threw the chocolate. Then gave some, I think, some noodles. Right? Looked at it and discarded it. And gave something else, again discarded it. Then finally, a glass of wine, put it in front of him. He looked at it. He was so happy. 100%. He was a drunkard in the past life. 100%. Right? He's not a toddler. He's not a toddler, right? He's not a toddler. So this, where? Such a joy. I mean, nobody taught this boy. Right? Nobody, he did not learn this in this life. For sure, this person was a drunkard in the past life. And not a toddler at all. Not a toddler, right? So this is what this young boy brought from the past life. You're getting it? Likewise, in this life, it is so important for us to build the good habits so that we can carry these good habits in the next lives. Next lives, it becomes so easy for us, right? For us. Okay, so this is so important, right? Oftentimes, we engage in things which we know that they are wrong, and still we cannot refrain from doing those things. These are all because of the habits, not only from this life, from the past lives as well, right? So therefore, in this life, now we have bad habits, we have good habits, we have neutral habits, right? Those bad habits is a great opportunity for us in this life to undo them. We're already not, young, age-wise, not toddlers. We are all like 20s. Is there anyone who's younger than 20s? Anyone below 20? No. Okay, which means that we all can, think. Which means that the bad habits that we have, see how to undo these bad habits. Say no to the bad habits. Bad habits, you know that these are bad habits, and still we have to do it. Means that we are weak. We don't have the choice. Why should we be weak? Deep inside us, we are not weak. We are so strong. We have the ultimate treasure of happiness. Weakness is a source of miseries. And you have the ultimate source of happiness. This is not your real nature. The weakness is not your real nature. The bad habit is not your real nature. We can undo these bad habits. How? Right? Okay. Don't do it forcefully. Don't undo the things forcefully. One example that I give is, say, usually some of the glasses, they have the very beautiful designs, right? Twisted designs. How these designs are made? Anyone? Any idea? How these designs on the glass, like twist and so forth, very beautiful twists. They are heated and then blown into the furnaces, right? Okay, let's say you heat this up and you want to make a twist to this, a beautiful twist, and then I twist it like this very fast. What will happen? It will break. You have to twist it very slowly, gently. You're getting it? So likewise, if you try to undo the bad habits very strongly, right? Say like alcohol. Stopping alcohol, right? Okay, I went to Tibet house, I learned this, now I'm going to say no to alcohol, and from today onwards, no alcohol, right? Okay, then we are not too sure whether it is a good way or unwise way. We are not sure. You're getting it? In some people can do magic. You just hear about it, it affects you, and then you stop it right there. Some people can do. And many people, they cannot do. It will build a second class of habit. habit not to undo the habits. We build a second habit, right? Why? Same habit to go into undoing the habit and not undo it. This is another habit that we're building. Because we attempt it and then, no, it's impossible, I cannot do it, right? Again, this new habit that you're building. Habit to say that I cannot undo the bad habits. This is another habit, that bad habit that we're building up. So therefore, we really need to be very careful. If the personality, if you know your personality so well, where you say no, it remains no. If this is your personality, this is very rare. Particularly with the addictions, this is very rare. So because it is rare, it is very important to undo the bad habits in a slow, stepwise process while being in a conducive area. Habilitation center, we call it habilitation center, which means that creating a conducive area. Okay, so likewise, anything, for example, say this book in my room, say in your room, say this book is in your, the library, small library, living room, and you are in the bedroom, or you are in the kitchen, or so what do you call it? Say let's say bedroom, and then suddenly you remember, oh, there's one stanza which is very interesting. What is that? I prostrate to the one who is transformed. But what stanza is that? Huh? The one who is transformed. The one who is transformed into a reliable guide, motivated by the altruistic intention, benefit all sentient beings. The teacher said something. What is that? I don't remember too well. It's in the book, but the book is in the living room. Okay, I'll do it tomorrow. Right? Okay, when that happens, what is happening is that, again, we're building a very bad habit of not making the virtues vibrant. Right? It becomes very passive. Okay, only if it is right next to your table, that too, if it is on the right page there, then you are literally look at it. If it is close, you don't want to even open it, right? Okay, only when I'm in Tibet house next week, then I have to open it, then I'll see it. Or if it's in most cases, if it is right in front of you, you will open it. But if it is in the living room or in somewhere else, okay, right? Even if it is, so you have to stand up, even there's a problem, right? Stand up, okay, no, I will, next time, later. And later never comes. This is what we are building, a very bad habit, right? So the point is that karma of the similarity with the cause, karma of the similarity of the cause pertaining to the action and pertaining to the experience too. Pertaining to action is the habituation, building the habit, right? Building the habit. So therefore, undoing the bad habit is also building a new habit, building a new good habit. Undoing a bad habit is building a new habit. This is so precious. So for this, in this life, just see, when doing good things, you don't procrastinate, you don't delay. Do good things, see how you can do it, right there, without laziness. Okay, this is so important. Okay, with this, then you will realize that there are so many things, which can be accomplished, through consistency, right? Through consistency. Okay, there are things Jazakallah. Okay, so the what was I saying?
Lot of things can be accomplished.
Okay, consistency. Yes, there are many things. Say, for example, keep in mind that you are on a mission. You are on a mission. Nation is also in a mission, on a mission. Say the nation, the mission of building a huge dam, right? How many years it can take? In some cases, 20 years. You're getting it? 20 years. Okay, so a mission, a task which can be accomplished by taking enormous amount of time. One, for that, if the person does not have the enthusiasm to accomplish this, right? If the person is very impatient, I want it right there, such a long-term goals can never be accomplished. And gade para sambade bodhi swaha. This is a very long-term goal. It's a very long-term, so much time taking mission. So therefore, we must have a great sense of, say, the commitment and the discipline and the determination and enthusiasm. Right? One, seeing that it can take long. Number one. Number two, that the sense of commitment, that you promise to do something, try your best to accomplish it, right? Whatever, any action, not necessarily virtue, even the neutral things. For example, okay, I have to go to collect my, let's say, the class 12 certificate from my mother. My mother lives in, say, the Chhatarpur. I don't know how far it's from here, right? Okay, I need it. Okay, I have to get it. Okay, it's fine. I'll do it this afternoon. And this afternoon comes, I'll do it this evening. This evening comes, okay, I'll see if somebody's going there, and finally nothing happens. You're getting it? So let's see. So these say you said that I will go to pick it up this afternoon, and you extend it this evening. This evening, tonight. And tonight, and I'll see if somebody's going there. And then you say, finally, no one's going there, I'm sorry. Right? Okay, so this is how we delay. So with the small things, forget about the big ones. Small things, whatever commitment, whatever we say, I'm going to do it, try your best to do it. There could be instances, situations where you may not be able to do it. That's fine. But from your side, okay, and try your best as far as possible. Try your best for unnecessary reasons, telling lies. Just stop this. Right? Amazing. People are so expert. Right? Their mind goes so fast, creating excuses right there. Amazing. Right? Say, I promise to come to the class. Same class. Say like at, I say, okay, I'll be here at, say it's now tea time, and then we'll come back in 15 minutes. Then I leave. And then say I'm still in CP, in the gate, right? And then the Nilishaji called me, Kishila, you have your class here. They were saying, I'm on my road. I couldn't believe that. I'm on my road, I'm on my way. Not really, you're still busy there, say eating ice cream, still spending more time there, still prosper to spend half an hour there. You already just spontaneously say, I'm on my way. Wow. So these are the habits, right? Just say, okay, I'm sorry, okay, I'll come. So if you really think that there's some urgent thing there which will take like 15 minutes, you say that, okay, in 15 minutes, I'll leave. Tell the truth. Right? And if you forgot, oh, I'm sorry, I'll come right now. And you just set off right now. Instead of saying, I'm on my way. And some people, they're so expert in saying, I'm halfway. Wow. It's so spontaneous coming up. Well, okay, so these are the bad habits. These are the bad habits. With this, then slowly people will lose trust in us. Right? One, people will lose trust. The moment the trust is lost, the whole foundation of happiness is gone. Right? Whole foundation of happiness is gone. And you build a very bad habit. Okay, there are many things like this that we have to keep in mind. Okay, so let's say this is we just learned the main divisions, karma, then the afflictions. Number 2 is the afflictions. Afflictions, there are two categories. Two categories of afflictions, root afflictions and the secondary afflictions. Okay, the root afflictions, attachment, aversion, ignorance, arrogance, doubt, and the wrong view. Okay, attachment, aversion, ignorance, the what? Arrogance or conceit, pride, arrogance, conceit, they're all same. And then the doubt, afflictive doubt, and the wrong view. Okay, so these 6 are considered as the root of the afflictions. And the attachment, the first one, attachment is where your mind is pulled by the object, your mind is drawn closer to the object. That is the attachment. And aversion is your mind is pushed by the object. Your mind is pushed by the object, away from the object. That is aversion. And the ignorance is your mind being obscured of seeing the reality. Your mind being obscured of seeing the reality. Then the arrogance, of course, a feeling of the inflation, that I'm important, I'm more important than others, this arrogance, conceit, okay, this one thing. And then the afflictive doubt. Afflictive doubt is, okay, law of karma, is it true or not? I doubt whether it's true, Law of karma, okay, if you do something good, happiness does really happen, or I just doubt. Okay, these are the afflictive doubts. Afflictive doubts meaning the doubt tilting towards which will sever your engaging into the virtues. Tilting towards which will sever your engaging into the virtues. Okay, the next one is wrong view. Now, we see that what we've learned, once in a while we've learned is within a mind. Our mind can be, broadly speaking, our mind can be classified into 2 kinds. For broadly speaking, we can classify the human beings into 2, boys and girls. Likewise, our mind, there's so many ways to classify mind. Of course, we'll learn later as a part of the Buddhist psychology. Our mind can be classified into 2 groups. One is cognitive mental state, and the other one is affective mental states. Affective and cognitive. Generally speaking, What determines what we're doing? What determines the state of your happiness, miseries, whatever, that is determined by the affective mind. That is determined by the affective mind. And what determines the affective mind is determined by the cognitive mind. Affective mind is determined by the cognitive mind, right? Okay, let's say my favorite flower is lotus, and the flower which I dislike the most is the rose, right? Okay, let's say I like my favorite flower. Let's say my favorite flower is lotus, and the one which I dislike the most is roses. Let's say. Okay, now what happens is that I fall asleep, and somebody brings me a flower pot with a flower. I look at it. First, I look at it because I want only the flowers which I like, right? I look at it, and then what happens is that within me there is a cognitive side of my mind. Cognitive meaning the mind which decides whether it's the rose flower, lily flower, or marigold flower, or orchid flower, or whatever. The mind which discerns. That is known as the cognitive mind, cognitive mental state, cognitive, right? So this cognitive mind does not give you any sense of affinity. This cognitive mind per se is not having any affinity, right? It simply says, okay, yes, okay, these are the Tibetan flags. Okay, these are the Singaporean flags, Tibetan flags. Some people may like Tibetan flags more. Some people may like Singaporean flag more. Right? Okay, these are the let's say you like roses a lot, and I like lotus a lot. Then I show this, right? I show this flower. Okay, what is this? What is your answer? What is this flower? Huh? A rose flower. A rose. And I will say, this is rose flower. You're getting it? This is rose flower. Do we agree? Yes. Okay. Your mind which says this rose flower, does it cling to the flower? Or it's just a cognitive? It's just a cognitive. That is something common between you and me. This is rose flower. We both agree. If we remain at that point, then we have no attachment, no aversion. Then the next moment comes. Your early imprint on the basis of saying that there's rose flower there, then the attachment. If you like roses, your attachment will come to you. In my case, I dislike rose flowers, so my mind will be pushed by the rose flower. So the affinity comes later. Affinity, affective side, affective, pull and push, comes after the cognitive mental state, right? First comes the cognitive mental state. Next comes the affinity. Okay, affinity. Okay, tell me, right? So within you now, do you see that there are two things there? One, there's a rose flower there. I like this flower. Two mental states, yes, no? Two mental states within you? Yes. Of the two, which is required to bring it closer towards you? I want it. Which do you want? Which of the two? Affective or the cognitive? Affective, right? So affective is the one which will make you to move towards or away from it. So that is the action. That is the action. You're getting it? So the actions are determined by the affective mental state, and the affective mental states are determined by the cognitive state. I like it, right? I like it. And you don't go towards the empty place, right? You go towards where the flower is. So this is, you know that there's a flower there. That is the function of the cognitive mental state. So this cognitive mental state will give rise to the affective mental state when the cognitive mental state is added by the imprint, earlier habituations, earlier tendency for the love for the flower, the rose flower. When these two are added, then your mind will be pulled to this object. You're getting it? Okay. So this is how we learn the psychology. This is how you will see your own mind, how the mind operates. Okay. Now, we see that our mind, generally speaking, we can see that our mind is classified into two groups. One, which is the affective side, one which is the cognitive side. So affective and cognitive can be both virtuous, can be both non-virtuous. Right? For example, virtue for like what? There's some people, they see this book, and this book, there's nothing non-virtuous. It's all about how to transform your mind from the unhappy state to the happy state, this book. And they read this title, The Blaze. Wow, even the title itself is so good. I remember many people saying this. Right? Okay, so this is what? This title, Blaze of Non-Dual. This is what? Cognitive or affective? Cognitive. The Blaze, right? Then, wow, it's so good. This is affective or cognitive? Affective. You're getting it? Okay. So this is, so it's so good means the person will be pulled towards the object. Right? Then the person, there is a likelihood that the person will pick up this book. Right? Pick up the book, will open the book. Open the book, will read. Reading, then we'll see the change within your mind. You getting it? Okay. So this is a virtuous. Whereas, right? Okay, some people, I give the book as a great gift. There was, okay, I have a shelf, it has full of books, meaning that I don't want this book. Right? Okay, so this is a book. This is a book, and I have many books in my shelf already. Right? So these two are cognitive or affective? Cognitive. Then what? I may not accept this. I don't like it. This is affective. This is non-virtuous. You're getting it? So even within non-virtuous, so this young boy, not the young boy, toddler, say the chocolate, look at it, chocolate, no, I don't want it. Right? And then the noodles, noodle, I know I don't want it. And some other candies, I don't want it. Right? And the what? Wine comes. Wow, he starts glowing with such a smile and joy there. You're getting it? Okay, this is what? Non-virtuous. Affective. Affective first, wine. Right? This is cognitive. Wow, this is affective. You're getting it? Okay, so cognitive and affective, we see that it applies to both the virtuous and the non-virtuous mind. Okay, so the 6 root afflictions. Of the 6 root afflictions, generally speaking, the first 5 are affective. The first 5 are affective, generally speaking. Right? For example, generally speaking, meaning, say the ignorance. Ignorance can be both sides. Otherwise, the others are, say and the doubt also. Doubt can be on both sides. Otherwise, the last one, wrong view. Wrong view is the cognitive. Cognitive, and generally speaking, the first 5 fall under the category of the affective, and the 6th one is the cognitive. Okay. And technically speaking, the technical term used is the view and the non-views. View and the non-views. View pertaining to the non-virtuous. Wrong view is also non-view, is also view. View meaning cognitive. What is that? What did it say? Wrong view. No. Say the negative thought processes, negative thought processes, virtuous thought processes, non-virtuous thought processes. Within non-virtuous thought process, technically speaking, the term uses views and the non-views. Right? Non-views referring to the affective side of the mind, and the views referring to the what? Cognitive side of the afflictions. Okay, this is what we need to know. That is pertaining to the 6 root afflictions. And then there are 20 secondary afflictions. 20 secondary afflictions. Okay, so 20 secondary afflictions, they are all in this book. Okay. Okay, we will locate this 20 afflictions secondary. The 20 secondary afflictions, meaning that, say, within the afflictions, for example, say miserliness, spite, and then say the shamelessness, and so forth. We see that all afflictions somehow can be grouped into 3 in terms of nature. Let's say that everyone here, I can group them in so many different ways. One in the form of boys and girls, another in the form of 20 below and 20 plus 20 or plus. Right? We can classify like this. There are so many ways of classification. And one way of classification is in terms of nature. Nature-wise, similar. Say the spite. Spite it falls in the nature of the aversion. And the miserliness, it falls in the nature of the attachment to your wealth or whatever. Right? So all afflictions somehow, the thing is your mind. Our mind is pulled and pushed. Pulled is attachment, pushed is aversion. Okay, so now we see that, and when you're not pull or push, when it becomes neutral, it is ignorance. Right? How it is ignorance, then we will study more. Right? It is not necessary that if the pull and push stops, then it is ignorance. This is not the case. Right? Ignorance is with the say, if there is a black screen, on this you show the video. You show the what? The movie. You screen the movie. Same. Okay, let's say the screen is blue. And then you watch movie, a part of the movie, you see the white sky, white clouds. Then next moment, then it becomes, then you are taken into a very dark room, right? So when the white part is removed, dark part is removed, what is left now? What is the main color of the screen? Blue. So the blue will come out automatically, right? So whereas if there is no screen at all, it is open in the open space. So maybe the word nowadays already made or not made. Television screen, right? You press the button of something, then in the screen it comes. In the open space, the screen comes. And then you talk like this in the open space. How many of you have seen that? It's not real. It is something which people are thinking of. Have you seen something of this kind? Okay, there is something. If not, then you're the right person to study diploma course. your mind is more settled and calm. Seeing all these things, what the people thinking of in the future, it'll make you crazy, right? Okay, so the point is, okay, now let's say that when your mind, okay, let me put a list like this. Say, if I see in this hall, it is a tiger or not? Hey, there's a tiger or not?
No.
it is not a philosophical question. Is there a tiger in the hall or not? No tiger. And I'm hallucinating. I see a tiger. Right? Right? And tiger can be either very gentle, coming to me, right? But they're coming to hug me, this one way. And otherwise the tiger would be very aggressive, right? Okay, if the tiger is not aggressive or not very gentle, very friendly, then what's the tiger like? Huh? Rest, yes. A tiger rests, very calm, right? Is there a tiger? No. So, if you tell me that, okay, tiger, is the tiger aggressive? I'm seeing the tiger. You say, okay, you saw a tiger in the house. Yes. So what is that tiger? Aggressive? No, it's not aggressive. It's very friendly? Not friendly. Then what will you decide? Huh? Okay, now it seems like your mind is tired. Okay, it's not philosophy. I'm saying this again. Say, you meet me outside and you ask me, what do you see in the house? I say that I saw a tiger. And you ask me, what kind of tiger? Aggressive? I say, no. Very friendly? No. Then what impression do you get of the tiger in the house? Huh? Neutral. Do you getting it? Okay. Is there a tiger in the house? No. So, not friendly, not aggressive, then you automatically come to neutral. Right? Even this neutral is also deceptive. Yes, no? Only when you know, so that you will not have affinity to the tiger because it is not close to you. You have no aversion to the tiger because it's not aggressive. So what is your response? Oh, there's a tiger there. This is ignorance. When you come to Tibet house, when you realize there is no tiger there, all three are seen as wrong. You will not be pulled by the tiger, not pushed by the tiger. So which of the two is better? You see a tiger out of hallucination. Tiger is not aggressive, no friendly, sitting calmly. So which means that your mind is not pulled or pushed. One. And you realize that tiger is absent in Tibet house. So there's no basis for your mind to pull and push. Pull and push stops. So there are two ways. One, with seeing the tiger, still the pull and push is not happening. Another, seeing the absence of tiger, pull and push is not there, which is one you are seeking. Which of these, the absence of the pull and push? First one or second one? Which is the first one?
Seeing the tiger, we are not affected.
Okay, seeing the tiger out of hallucination, still not affected, or saying there's no tiger at all. So why should I be pull and push? Which is better for you?
There is no tiger.
There is no tiger at all. You know. So for that, how to get this understanding? You have to actually come to Tibet house and see to yourself that actually there's no tiger. You're getting it? So whereas if seeing the tiger and no pull and push, that is what? Is ignorance. Why ignorance? There's no tiger, but you hallucinate it. This is ignorance. So the point is that seeing, okay, attachment, aversion, when both are not there, our mind will tilt into ignorance. You're getting it? Okay. Whereas if you see the ultimate reality, then pull and push, attachment, aversion will stop and you will not go into ignorance. You will not go into ignorance. You're getting it? Okay. So this, how not to fall into it. Otherwise, afflictions, there are three kinds. What? Attachment, aversion, and ignorance. Either you attach to things or you averse to things. If nothing of these two things happen, your mind goes into ignorance. Right? In all three cases, there's a problem. Right? Because this ignorance is responsible. No. Because of this, the afflictions are responsible for giving rise to contaminated karmas. And contaminated karmas are responsible for giving rise to miseries. And we don't want miseries. Right? If you don't want miseries, we have to get rid of the contaminated karmas. If you don't want the contaminated karmas, we have to get rid of. If you don't want contaminated karmas, we should get rid of? Afflictions. Afflictions, there are three kinds. What are they? Attachment, aversion, and ignorance. If we don't want these three things, what should we do? We should come out of the dream of self-grasping ignorance. Right? How to come out of the dream of self-grasping ignorance? Wake up. Wake up with the help of the wisdom of emptiness. You're getting it? Okay, so the wisdom of emptiness plays a very important role so that our mind will not slide down, slip into ignorance, attachment, and aversion. So these three things are the afflictions. You're getting it? Good. Okay, now we're doing the truth of the cause of suffering, which it consists of contaminant karmas, afflictions, and the active seeds. Active seeds, I've already given the example, right? Burn seed and the fresh seed. The fresh seed is not the actual, say the apple seed. It's not apple, but it has the potential to give rise to apples. Likewise, the afflictions, imprints of the afflictions, they are not afflictions, but they have the capacity to give rise to afflictions. These are known as the active seeds. Okay, done. So these three constitute what? The truth of the cause of suffering. Right? What's next? Truth of the cessation of suffering. Okay, truth of cessation of suffering, I don't want to go into too detail. I like to explain this in two ways. Right? Say the truth of cessation of suffering means suffering coming to an end. Suffering coming to an end is of two kinds. Right? Say the truth of suffering and its causes. Suffering causes, they are the manifestation of the metal stains. You getting it? Metal stains. Okay, let's say you're watching a movie. You're watching a movie of the ghost. And this movie is coming from where? In the movie theater. Coming from the? If the movie is coming from where? Projector. And where is the projector? Behind. Okay, still is the old style, right? Okay, today, nowadays, do we have the movie theaters, big movie theaters, where the projector behind you is not used? Everywhere there is on the basis of the projectors. Any idea? Dijal, any idea? Are you very confident? Or let's say most of the movie theaters, let's say, if not all, most of the movie theaters still use the projector, let's say, right? Most. I'm not too sure. But now I'm very, from how the technology is developing, I may speculate that there are some movie theaters where we don't need it is like the plasma television, you know.
The technology is already there for not projecting from the
No, this is not right. Actually happening, is my question. Okay, so the point is, let's say that let's say the movie, you're watching the movie and the movie is coming from the projector and the projector is behind you. And how big is the film? What you're seeing here is maybe like 20 feet by 20 feet, right? And the same thing projected by the projector, what is the size like? 16 mm. Okay, 16, what is? 35. 35 mm. 35 mm is like how in inches?
1 inch. Yeah. 1 inch.
Okay, let's
35 mm is 3.5 centimeter and 2.5 centimeter makes 1 inch.
Wow. Okay, 1.5 inch. 1.5 inch by 1.5 inch, right? Let's see. Okay, 1.5 inch by 1.5 inch magnified into. So what you're seeing here is actually everything is there in that 1.5 inch by 1.5 inch. It's so tiny, yet everything is there. Yes, no? Yes. Okay. Likewise, say all what we experience as miseries, in the excruciating, the trauma, the fear, anxiety, depression, and the euphoria, the excessive happiness, and so forth. All these things are nothing. They are like the movie being experienced, and the movie projector is your own mind, right? So whatever you see of the universe, whole big universe, beautiful universe, very scary universe, they are all nothing but a manifestation of the movie projector like your mind. You're getting it? Okay. Now with this, within this mind decides. This mind decides what you are seeing is nice, not nice, and so forth. Everything is here. Right? So when you remove, say, the example which we gave last time, say you put on the spectacles, so the goggles, very dirty goggle. With that, you look at the Mount Kailash, you see Mount Kailash is terribly dirty, right? And then somebody helps you to cleanse your goggle 50%. Then you look at the Mount Kailash, you see the Mount Kailash 50% clean, 50% dirty, right? And if you make your goggle 100% clean, you will see Mount Kailash 100% clean, right? So therefore, the point is, to what extent your mental defilements are removed, the stains of the goggle removed, to what extent the stain of the goggle of your mind, they're removed, to that extent you will see the happiness outside. Okay, now with this, the stains, we see that they are, what we learn right from the beginning, the stain is of two kinds, gross and subtle stains. Gross one referred to as the something, what affliction, something. This morning when we do the what? Setting proper motivations has how many points? I said how many points? 3 points, very good, okay. 3 points, what are the 3 points? Third one, what's the third one? The purpose of the practice. And purpose of practice, what is that? To manifest the ultimate treasure, happiness within yourself. So although this treasure is there, we don't see it because that is obscured by the mental defilements. And the mental defilements are of how many kinds? You remember? Very good. Mental defilements, so 2 kinds, the gross and the subtle. Gross like the solid garlic, subtle like the smell of the garlic, right? And the gross one is also known as afflictive obscurations. The subtle one is known as cognitive obscurations. Okay, which means that when these instructions are given, right, you're not to just directly go into Bodhisattva meditation, right? You have to go gate, paragate, because all these instructions are given, right? And the purpose is that without the exclusively saying these into the classes, still you can learn a lot. But you went directly into Bodhisattva, right? You do not pay attention to what is being said there. Okay, so the mental defilements which obscure this, say, gold and the gold mixed with the soil, you don't see the gold visible. So how do you know that there's a gold there? How will you know that the gold is there? How can you know that the gold is there? By removing the gold, not polishing. Polishing will come later. And again, this Bodhisattva directly. Okay, so first you have to remove the dirt, the soil, remove the dirt. Okay, remove the dirt. So the dirts, we see that there are 2, the gross and the subtle. You're getting it? Gross one is known as afflictive. So this gross, the dirts, what obscure the visibility of the gold there? What obscures the visibility of the gold? The soil. Okay. What obscures the visibility of the gold? The soil. Soil which, gold, the soil with which the gold is mixed. The soil obscures. So the soil is known as the obscuration. What obscures the visibility of the true nature of ultimate happiness within yourself? Mental stains. Mental stains are known as obscurations. You're getting it? And obscurations, there are two. What are they? Gross and a subtle. Gross one is known as afflictive obscurations. Right? And the subtle one is known as cognitive obscuration. Okay, let me say this again. Say, what obscures the Buddha nature or the ultimate happiness within you? The metal stains. So because the metal stains obscure the beautiful treasure happens within you, these are known as the obscurations. And how many obscurations are there? Two kinds. What are they? Gross and the subtle. Gross one is known as afflictive obscurations, and the subtle one is known as cognitive obscurations. Very good. Okay. Now we digress from which point? Truth of the cessation of suffering and its causes. You're getting it? Truth of the cessation of suffering. To stop the poisonous leaf completely, you have to cut the root. Likewise, to cessation of suffering, meaning stopping the suffering. A cessation of suffering. Truth of the cessation, cease. The cessation means cease. Cease. Stop. Cease the suffering. Right? Cessation of suffering. To have the cessation of suffering, it is determined by the cessation of the causes of suffering. Right? Causes are not visible, but the sufferings are visible. So with the sufferings, you should infer the causes. So you have to cut the causes. Now, to what extent you cut the causes, then to that extent you will see this cessation of the suffering. Now the causes, we see that the metal stains, there are two kinds. What are they? Afflictive obscurations and cognitive obscurations. Very good. Okay. When you remove the afflictive obscurations, which is more difficult to remove? Say the solid garlic in this mug or the smell of the garlic? Smell of the garlic is more difficult to be removed. Likewise, cognitive obscuration is like the smell of the garlic, and the afflictive obscuration is the gross one, the solid garlic. Of the two, which is more difficult to remove? Cognitive obscuration. Very good. Okay, so when you remove the afflictive obscurations, not the cognitive obscurations, you achieve what is known as nirvana. Nirvana means, in simple terms, that you are free from all fears of life. You are free from all fears of life. When the afflictive obscurations is gotten rid of, all fears of life will be stopped. Now, henceforth, in this life, future life, fears of life, all fears gone. All fears gone, no matter what. Fear of tiger, the fear of being washed by the tsunami, the fear of being burned alive in the wildfires, fear of being in the hands of the terrorists, all fears will be gone. Right? Okay, so the cessation of the fears is due to the cessation of the afflictive obscurations. When the cessation of fear happens, this experience is known as nirvana. Nirvana, in Pali we call it nibbana. Nibbana or nirvana, right? Moksha, same, they all mean the same. Moksha. Okay, this is when the afflictive obscurations are gone. Now, on top of the afflictive obscurations, when the cognitive obscurations are gone, your mind becomes like an incredibly pure sun, right? Which cannot be obscured by any external factors. That is, when you become a totally enlightened being, totally enlightened. Okay, so that is known as total enlightenment or Buddhahood. Buddha does not mean Buddhism. I'm saying this again. Buddha sometimes fully awakened one. Fully awakened one. That your mind is fully awakened of the mental dirts. Mental dirts are all gone rid of. So what's the benefit? The benefit is that one, you as a sun, you cannot be affected by any other external factors. No one can obscure you anymore. Which means that you are not, even if you are in the middle of the bonfire, even if you are in the middle of this tsunami, even if you are in the middle of the war and the terrorists, you cannot be affected by physically, verbally, mentally by any external factors. One. Number two, not only that you are not affected by any external factors, your mind, because you are not affected, your peace of mind just never stirred. Right? Your peace of mind stirred means external factors affecting you. No external factors can affect you. Your peace of mind is forever guaranteed under any situation. One. Number two, not only that you have your peace of mind is guaranteed 24/7, you become like a sun, not only to remove the darkness within yourself, you have the capacity to remove the darkness of every atom of the universe. You have the capacity to remove the darkness of self-grasping ignorance of all sentient beings who are like the atoms of the universe. So these are the two benefits that you will acquire. Okay, so we see that state where all the mental states are gone, afflictive and cognitive both are gone, that is known as the Mahaparinirvana. Or in other words, the nirvana without remainder. Nirvana without remainder. Nirvana means freedom from mental stains. Here is a very specialized version, the total freedom, total awakening, nirvana without remainder, right? And the other one is nirvana in general. Nirvana and nirvana in general and nirvana without, the non-abiding nirvana, right? Non-abiding nirvana, when your mind is cleansed of all the mental defilements, that is known as the non-abiding nirvana and nirvana in general. And the nirvana in general can be classified into two. Nirvana with remainder, with nirvana without remainder. So total we see that there are three kinds of nirvana. Nirvana with remainder, nirvana without remainder, and non-abiding nirvana. Okay, now we need to know what is the difference between the nirvana with remainder and without remainder. Okay, here, let's say that let's say that for big functions, the big functions, we go properly dressed, clean dress, like this. Say you are doing your workout, exercise, then you are in a very casual dress, and suddenly there's a big gathering where the lottery, they're just picking up to see who win the lottery, and then the first name is your name, right? Your name is announced, so you have to dash to get the prize there, and you are in a very casual dress, right? Is it allowed or not? Usually it's not allowed, right? Okay, what made you to be in this very casual dress? Why not formal? Why? Because you just came from the gym, right? That too in a very urgent way you have to come. Okay. Likewise, let's say that, okay, how many of you are arhat at the moment, meaning who have achieved nirvana right now?
No one.
Seems like you are in nirvana, very peaceful. Okay, let's say no one, right? Let's say no one. Which means that your body is suffering nature. You agree? How many of you agree with me? Your body is suffering nature, sickness, aging, death, all these things are because of the body. Your mind is also suffering nature. The speech is also not really nice, right? Okay, with this we have particularly, let's say, the body very contaminated. Sickness, aging, death, All these problems are associated with this body. Okay, let's say now you hear about Gate Gate, Paragate, Parasamgate, Bodhisvaha, wisdom of act, and they say the ultimate treasure happens within me. They are obscured by the mental defilements. They can be gotten rid of by what? Oh, mental defilements. They can be gotten rid of by. How can we get rid of these mental defilements? Okay, so our mind is hanging now, like computer hanging. Okay, you already said the answer. You already said the answer so well. The first 10 minutes, and now you're slowing down. Okay, tell me. Say mental defilements are there. How to get rid of the mental defilement? What will help us to get rid of the mental defilements? Anyone?
Remove ignorance.
Huh?
Remove ignorance.
How to remove the ignorance?
Through wisdom.
Wonderful. This is what I'm looking for, right? So now, or maybe you're already in the meditation with emptiness, right? Wisdom. So you're not responding. Okay, say you are now meditating. You know that okay, the true nature of my mind is. True nature of my mind is very pure. But why it is not visible is because of the mental stains. I have to remove the mental stains. How? By applying the remedies. What is the remedy? Wisdom of emptiness. Okay, now we have made wisdom of emptiness. Right? With the wisdom of emptiness, then the self-grasping ignorance slowly disappears, keep disappearing, right? 20%, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, gone. Self-grasping ignorance, 100% gone. The root is cut. Now what happens to the leaves? Poisonous leaves growing there? They will all dry. But they are still, say, if you cut the root today the leaves will become dry or it will take some days? Good. Okay. But they're going to just be dry in any ways, right? It will take a little time. Likewise, you have meditated emptiness, right? Knowing all these things so well, meditated on the wisdom of emptiness, and the self-grasping ignorance becomes, the wisdom of emptiness becomes 10%, self-grasping ignorance becomes 90%. Very good. Then the wisdom of emptiness becomes 50%, self-grasping ignorance becomes 50%. Then the wisdom becomes 80%, self-grasping ignorance becomes 20%. Then the wisdom of emptiness becomes 100%, self-grasping ignorance becomes 0%. Okay, now the root is cut. Okay, root is cut. Now, the source of the fear is gone. Yes? Say, you have, with the wisdom of emptiness 100%, you have fully woken up. You are fully woken up. When you're fully woken up, are you afraid of the dream now? Are you afraid of the dream which you had the ghost which you had last night? No, not at all. Right? When you partially, right, say 50% woken up, are you afraid? Yes, you can easily slip into. Even while you are like 50% woken up, still the dreams can affect you. Right? It happens. I have many experiences myself. Okay, so now 100% wisdom of emptiness, self-grasping ignorance becomes 0. So there the root is cut fully. When the root is cut, all the afflictions will instantly disappear. Afflictions. Karmas will remain, and the contaminated body will still remain. Right? So now you become Arahat. Okay, right? The moment your self-grasping ignorance it becomes 0, you are known as Arahat. You are known as Arahat. You have reached the Bodhisvaha level from the point of view of the common practice, not from the minor practice. From the common practice point of view, you have reached the Bodhisvaha. Okay, so with this, and then you come out of the meditation. Now you don't have to say what Buddha said what. Although the truth of the cessation is to be actualized, there's nothing to be actualized. You're getting it? So now that you have already actualized the truth of the cessation of self-grasping ignorance, now you have nothing to actualize pertaining to freedom, to achieve the freedom from the suffering, the fears of samsara. Okay, now you come out of the meditation. Do you still have the body, this body? Yes, no? You still have the body. So although your mind is very pure now, but you still have the contaminated body. So this nirvana is a cessation of the mental defilements, ignorance. Although you have this mental defilement removed completely, still you have the contaminated body, remainder of the contaminated body. This is known as nirvana with remainder. Now later, when you leave this body, then the nirvana becomes nirvana without remainder. And then, not only that you have got rid of the self-grasping ignorance, you also got rid of the smell of the self-grasping ignorance, cognitive obscuration. When you remove that, then you are fully awakened. That is non-abiding nirvana. So how many kinds of nirvana are there? Three. What are they? Nirvana with remainder, nirvana without remainder, and non-abiding nirvana. Okay, so this is very important. This is about the truth of the cessation of suffering. Right? Okay. Now what we are left is with the what? What's that? The truth of the path leading to sin. That is very important. We will do next time. Okay, so we will stop here. And a quick announcement. The people are asking as to what we should be doing during the 2.5 months break, right? 2.5 months break. What should we be doing? This is the question. So what I would suggest is, you can listen to the recordings of all the recordings of the teachings which we already did thus far. How many sessions? 6 sessions. Okay, all these 6 sessions I would suggest you do listen to them once more, because you attended them personally, in person. When you listen to the recordings, you will see that there is a clarity coming to your mind. And not only that, it will be ingrained in your mind, and then later on, when we go into the philosophy part, you'll find that much easier, right? Okay, this is what I would say. And then those of you who are interested in doing meditation, I would suggest you, if you're exposed to very standard meditations, some people who are exposed to the Vipassana meditation, I would suggest you to continue doing those meditations. They'll be very good, right? But the warnings that I've already given, say the 4 points, right? Body posture, focal point, then what? Number 3. Identifying the errors of meditation. Then number 4, applying the remedies to overcome the errors. Particularly number 3, number 4. You say, whatever meditation that you're doing, whether the Vipassana meditation or whatever meditation you're doing, it is so important to take note of the point number 3 and 4. Identifying the errors of meditation, mainly mental laxity and mental scattering or mental excitement. And then when these 2 things happen, then apply the remedies. Remedies twofold: introspection and mindfulness, right? Okay, those of you who want to be more into this, I would suggest you to listen to the recordings. All the recordings available, right? So you can make a personal request to Dipeshla and Tenzin there, right? Dipeshla asked Tenzin to coordinate this. So instructions must be there. Without instruction, I would very much request you not to do any meditation without proper instruction, right? Just by reading books, just by watching YouTube's, this is not sufficient for your meditation. Don't play with your mind. Don't play with the mind. Once the mind goes haywire, so difficult to control it. And the mind can affect your energy. And with the energy, your physiology can be affected. You can go crazy. I'm giving you the warning, very strong warning. You can go crazy, right? So this is what I noticed in the several people. Your mind can literally go crazy. So be very careful. Don't just do these things. And then don't easily jump into say the tantric practices. Right? Don't jump into tantric practices. Be very, so take every precaution, take good steps. Finally, see if there's a little transformation taking place within your mind. You see if you are becoming a happier and happier person. If that is happening, you are in a very right track. And you take all these empowerments, tantra, like that, and your mind become more and more unhappy. Some people say that, oh, I'm doing this meditation, this meditation is supreme. When I do this practice, my mind becomes very peaceful. When I come out of this, my mind becomes very hazy, very disturbed, which means the meditation is wrong. Right? Meditation is not just a temporary healing. It is to make your basic thought processes, mental state happier, more and more calm. This is so important. Okay, so yes, we will stop here. Turn to page 278. Okay, since there's going to be quite a big gap till the next class, let us dedicate the merits properly. That, say, each one of us here, that we're able to, say, imbibe what we learned, and then imbibe to the extent that it serves as basis for the transformation of one's own mind, the mind, which is at one point very unhappy, becoming more peaceful now, which is, say, the so uncontented, the not contented with anything, becomes more, say, the contented, peaceful, and which can easily get irritated for small things, become more, say, the calm, under control, right? And then, say, who's a little hyper all the time, becomes more the stable. Okay, if these are the changes that we expect from these classes. And then whatever little that we've learned, see how much we can put them into practice. It's not that you expected to apply this 100%. For 100% application, we need to have really intensive studies and reflection, which will come over time. For the time being, try your best to see how much you can apply this. Okay, one thing which I said earlier, and they say, going back, see how you can improve your relationship, starting with your mother, your father, and the family members, and at the workplace, and so forth. So meanwhile, with the family members, I would say, okay, so be kind, be gentle, be mindful that I will not shout unnecessarily, right? So with the small incident happened between me and my mother, if this is the same thing that happened with my colleague at the workplace, shall I shout at this person? I will not, right? So like that, I will also control this. This is a mother from whom I have received the maximum love and affection in my life, right? This father from whom I have received the maximum love and affection in my life. So I will at least make them happy. We don't know how long I will have time with my mother and my father. So the little time that we have together, I'll make sure that my mother and father, they are very happy, right? This is the first step that we need to take. Then we can go into the deeper philosophy. Okay, if you can do this much, this is the mark of success of our, and then you say relationship between your husband and wife, and the parents and the children, you and your children, you and your brothers, sisters. Okay, so all these things. In other words, another way of putting this is see how much we can transcend the ordinary thinking. What the ordinary people are prone to do, right? Just easily shouting at the mother, cannot shout at your colleague. These are ordinary people's habits. So how to transcend ordinary people's thinking? Okay, so with this in mind, just see that okay, I will use this opportunity from the Tibet house the vision, the advice, the guidance of His Holiness the Dalai Lama and the Nalanda Master's course, Nalanda Diploma course. So with this, how much I can reap the benefit out of this, so that my relationship with my family members will improve, that I myself will become happy person, more and more calm, more and more sensible, more and more extracting the meaning out of life rather than being attached to the trivialities and so forth. And with this, so once you get a little bit of experience yourself, how much I can share this with all my family members, with everyone that I meet with. Okay, if this is what we can do, and then say, if you can think even broader than that, say you go to a hospital, you say you come close by the AIMS, close by Safdarjung, close by Gangaram Hospital, right? So any hospital you close by, just think of all these, tens of thousands of suffering people are there, actually going through the pains, and then the family members who are also in pain, many people who are dying. So may this, what I've learned, what I'm experiencing now, may this be shared with all of them. Gate gate, paragate, parasamgate, bodhiswaha, omiya dharma, hetu prabhava, like this. If you can recite mantras for them, that would be amazing. In fact, the first person who's going to receive the benefit is going to be you. The moment you think about others, others means your mind flows. Your mind flows. When your mind flows, the mind restricts, constricts, which is anger, right? That calms down. When the anger comes down, you will feel the peace. And if this is a habit that comes to you, your peace will be so well ingrained in your mind, which is so precious. Then your family members will be fascinated to see that you are very calm. And when the family members, as soon as they have some problem, they will turn towards you. Because they know that you have become you transformed a lot, and then you become very calm, right? Okay, so this is for sure. If there is the magic there, this is magic, right? Not that somebody does some magic for you, and you cannot do any magic, no benefit for you. What you have is just the word wow, right? Somebody does the magic, and you say wow. And so, what is this wow for you? For you, there's nothing there. Whereas you do this, right? Say about taking this, the diploma course, not in the diploma course, and then so you reflect on these points, listen to these teachings once more, right? And then whenever you get time, say His Holiness the Dalai Lama gives teachings so many times, many places. Just see if you can say if you can personally attend the teachings, that would be wonderful. If not, all these now things available online, you can listen to them. Okay, this would be wonderful. Okay, and then you can pray for all the people around, for your family members. Okay, so with it in mind, let's turn to page 278. For everyone, let's pray this. For your parents, all family members, and everyone in the world, in the universe. In the land encircled by snow mountains, you are the source of all happiness and good. All powerful chariots like Tenzin Gyatso, please remain until samsara ends. Just as the brave Manjushri and Samadabhadra too realize things as they are. Also, I dedicate all these merits in the best way that I may follow their perfect example. I dedicate all these rules of virtue with the dedication praised as the best by the victorious ones thus gone after 3 times, so that I might perform the noble Bodhisattva's deeds. May the Supreme Bodhicitta that has not erased and rise and grow, and may that which has arisen not diminish but increase forevermore. Chanjo Samjo Remboche Maya Banam Gyuroche Gyabay Nyamba Mebaya Kone Kondo Pemaraishu. As long as space remains, as long as sentient beings remain, until then may I too remain to dispel the miseries of the world. True to the merits of these virtuous actions, may I quickly attain the state of Guru Buddha and lead all beings without exception into their enlightened state. I dedicate the merit thus gathered towards the realization of the deeds and the prayers of all the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas of the 3 times, and to the upholding of the Dharma of teaching and realization. May I in all lives through the force of this marriage never separate from the four wheels of the Mahayana vehicle and accomplish all the stages of the path, renunciation, bodhicitta, perfect view in the two stages. With a wish to free all beings, I shall always go for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma and Sangha until I reach full enlightenment. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I demand a full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. I go for refuge to the Triple Gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddha in my heart. The path of union, emptiness, and compassion is loosely explained by the protective Buddha, Dharma, and the beings of the snow land. You are the lotus hole that Tenzin Gyatso. We supplicate you that your wishes are fulfilled spontaneously. May the operations of evil thoughts and deeds of the negative forces of humans or non-humans who heard by ministry of perverted prayers against the teachings of the Buddhas be totally vanquished through the power of the truth of the three truths. In all my lives, never separate from, may enjoy the magnificent Dharma by completing the qualities of the stages and the paths, may I could attain the state of Vajradhara. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by Adam and Jishri and be able to uphold the Dharma in general and the teachings of dependent origination in particular, even in the course of my life.